Hi, everyone. My name is Sean Jones, and I'm an instructor of health sciences at Lane Community College. This video is really a chance for me to let you know what to expect when you enter a training program at Lane Community College in one of our many healthcare career options. So, if we take a look at some of the common careers that we offer, talking about things like nursing, medical assisting, health information management, physical therapy assistant, emergency medical technician, as well as paramedic, dental assisting, and more. There are other things, dental hygiene, and a few others that I just haven't filled the screen with. And so these are a lot of the different options. And now a lot of these have different things in common as far as some of the classes you need to take to get into them. And but what's unique is that all of them address healthcare from different perspectives. So, what are some commonly asked questions from students who are interested in beginning their journey somewhere in the healthcare profession? So, here are four common questions, and I'll go into each of these on their own slides just after this, but this is a summary of all of them. So, let's take a look at the first one. Question one: what kinds of classes will I take when I start credit level healthcare training? So, really, it depends. Most of the programs have their own unique classes that they require as prerequisites, as well as the classes that you'll take in their programs. But some of them, some of the classes are expected for all of the programs. For instance, most programs are going to want some basic math skills. So you'll take a class such as Math 52, which is basic math. And all of these classes that I'm going to talk about on this slide are offered at Lane. They're going to want college writing or English composition. So they want to know whether or not you understand English, that you can understand what you're reading, and that you can then write or type your own understanding of that. You can convey your understanding of that. They're going to want medical terminology, which is HP 100. I teach that class. I'm one of a few instructors who teaches that. And that is really making sure that everybody, regardless of which field you work in, somewhere in healthcare, you're either a medical assistant, a doctor, you could be a nurse, a massage therapist, you name it. We all have common terms that are used to describe locations on the body, directions, different organs, and things. I mean, for instance, when someone says cardio, that is related to the heart. That word cardio has a different origin. So a lot of these different terms are either Greek or Latin. And so it's good that we take a class so everybody can understand what these terms, what their origin is, as well as what they mean. So then when you are in any type of clinic, say you're in physical therapy and you hear cardio, you can expect to then go into a hospital and tell a nurse or a nursing assistant cardio, and they understand that you mean heart. Finally, you're going to have to take either anatomy and physiology or human body systems. And human body systems is basically a condensed version of anatomy and physiology. Some of the programs are going to require human body systems, which is only two classes. Other programs are going to require the entire anatomy and physiology series with microbiology, and that it can be either 3 or 4 classes. And that will lead into question 2, what are human body systems and why do I need to know them? So the human body systems are groups, or we'll call them systems, of different organs that work together to achieve a common goal. Now, an organ could be, say, your stomach, or it could be your heart. That is a group of cells that work together that are creating different tissues, and those tissues work together, and all together they create one. They achieve one common goal. Now, a body system, if we're going to talk about, let's say, the digestive system, which I've got here on the slide, that includes multiple organs. For instance, our stomach or the intestines, and we have large and small intestines. All of those are part of this system. They each have their own unique functions, such as breaking down food or adding bile or different juices to the food we make. But collectively, what they do is they allow us to take in food from our environment, break it down into small components, and then absorb that into our blood so that we can use those small bits of food. So that is what a body system is. Other examples would be the nervous system, which is how we control our movements, our muscular system, endocrine system, things like hormones. Those are all body systems. And as to why you need to know them is you need to understand the way the body usually functions when it's healthy. That way, when you are working in your field and you're trying to help somebody out, you can understand why it is that they are sick. And another way of saying that is you can't help somebody regain a normal function in their body unless you know what a normal function is. So that's really what I think it's important to understand how the body works, so you can understand better how and why it's not working correctly. Question 3, what study skills or habits will I need to be a successful student in the healthcare field? I have 5 tips. Starting off with tip 5, we'll work our way down to tip 1, which is the most important, I think. Tip 5, don't just copy your textbook. And by this, I mean, when you're reading something, don't just copy it into your notes word for word. Instead, stop, think about what it is you just read. Maybe it's one sentence or one idea, and then summarize it in your own words, in different words, and write that down or type it down. Tip 4, read, cover, check, and repeat. By that, I mean, read the material, whether it's a sentence or an idea, cover it up, and then repeat what you just read. Or if you're looking for a question and an answer, read the question, and if the answer is provided, don't look at it yet. Cover that question, or I'm sorry, cover the answer with your hand or a book or something so you can't see it, and then challenge yourself to answer it yourself, and then check your answer. And repeat. Do it over and over and over. This is all about repetition, over and over and over. Tip 3, draw. Use concept maps. By that, I mean the human body is very dynamic. It's always moving. So for some people, reading things in a sentence doesn't quite make enough sense. They don't really understand the complexity unless they draw things. And that's why for me, it's easy to understand things if I look at videos or animations, or for myself, because I can't really make videos, I just draw on pieces of paper. And a concept map would be, for instance, if I want to understand the sequence of steps. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, draw each of those on pieces of paper and little lines that connect them. After this thing happens, step 2, the next thing happens. If you need help with that, you can always ask your instructor or look online, and there will always be concept maps or drawings for whatever you're trying to learn, especially related to the human body. Tip 2, say it out loud. And by that, I mean, talk to somebody. You can talk to yourself if you have nobody, but you can talk to a friend, you can talk to your dog, you can talk to a plant. It doesn't matter who you talk to. When you're learning something, if you say it out loud, then you can really test your understanding of it. You might think that you know something if it's just inside of your head, but once you say it out loud, then you can really identify areas that you don't understand. Plus, somebody might call you out and say, hey, that doesn't really make sense to me. And then that will make you have to further explore what it is that you thought you knew. And tip 1, practice, practice, practice. If you've got something, if you got a test in 1 week, in 7 days from now, every single day you should set aside some time to practice. Do not cram. And by cram, that means the night before that test, you're trying to learn everything, okay? For 6 days, you learn nothing. And then the day before your test, you try to learn everything. It doesn't work. Instead, as I just said, every day set aside a little bit of time to learn that subject. And then the night before, get some sleep. Rest. Your brain will work a lot better the next day. All right. And move on to question 4. What is your advice to someone who wants to start a career in healthcare? I have 3 tips. 1, be honest. It's very important. If you don't know something, ask. As a medical professional, people expect that you know what you're doing. If you lie and say that you do and you don't, somebody could get hurt. For instance, if somebody says, I want you to take somebody's vital signs, and that would be their heart rate, their blood pressure, things like that. If you don't know what you're doing and you lie, now somebody might prescribe them the wrong medication. They might say that they're healthy when they're unhealthy. A whole bunch of things could happen that jeopardize the health of that person. Not to mention the fact that if somebody else that works with you figures out you're lying, they're never going to trust you again. Be honest. You're going to learn better, and people will respect you if you're always honest. Number 2, show interest. People are more likely to want to help you, to promote you, and be around you in the classroom and in the healthcare field if you are interested in what you're doing, and it will make them interested. People want to be around people who are motivating you, and those people are interested in what you're doing and what they're doing. And the last tip for me is any experience is good experience. Okay. I've worked in a lot of different areas. Before teaching, I worked in as an emergency medical technician, as a CNA, as a, I worked in the emergency department. I've worked in exercise research, and all of those are related to the human body. So while they were all different, all of it has given me a better overall understanding of the human body and how it responds to exercise, to different diseases, to different medications. And so it is only going to make you stronger and better at what you do if you're exposed to more things. So say yes to everything. And that also, with that, let's just say you get into one of these careers and you don't like it. That's fine. Go into something else, because a lot of the foundational things that you got that you needed to get into the first thing will apply to the next one. If you needed anatomy and physiology to get into the first program and you didn't like that program, well, guess what? You've already taken all those classes to get into the other program that you want to try. So it's setting you up for success, and it's going to make you a better healthcare professional in whatever field you work in. Okay, that was it for this presentation. I hope you learned a lot, and I look forward to working with all of you in the future. Take care.